Hello, and welcome along to episode 29 of Soulforged. Today I have playing with me Jay, who doesn't have a face.
What? How dare? Hi, I'm the faceless one.
There he is!
Hi, I'm Jay. I'm playing Kai.
I have Josh.
I'm Josh. I will be playing Luca Wicks and his dragon companion Vero.
I have Alora.
Hi, I'm Alora and I'll be playing Karina.
I have Jamel.
Hi guys, Jamel here. I'll be playing Galthak Stonebreaker.
And I have Michaela.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I am playing Winona Barrelite.
Bear with me, guys. This is going to be a fast and exotic journey. When we last left off, Regal had returned to the court of Valaris. He asked for assistance with Kai to nurse him through his torture wounds, of which he had very many. And he kept a fairly low profile, but over time, you guys began to trust him, as did the king, and he was brought back into the fold to look after the treasury and to resume his previous jobs as the younger prince of the king in waiting. At this point, he acknowledged that the treasury was incredibly empty, which was true, and you did see the report. And he decided that, on balance, the two more warships, which, as he phrased it, were but spittle in the wind, weren't really protecting the coast much. Over the course of a year, two warships had prevented 7 raids out of an approximated 180. So he might have a point. The following year, obviously, there were 4 of them, and you prevented 28 raids out of 200. So, it's something, but there were constant raids all over the place, more than 1 raid a day throughout the second year. So Regal decided that more warships were not the answer. Instead, we should get in bed with our inland dukes and make sure we've got some cash. So he threw some parties. He didn't actually get in bed with them. But he basically started strengthening bonds between the inland nobles and the outer nobles. Just a reminder, it is his mother's people, so to speak, Queen Desire, in Sandford, Clyde, and Dunholm. And Dunholm is his family home, so in some ways he had a lot more support there. Also during this time, there was a lot of issues with the Witted, lots of pressure from the Piebalds to right old wrongs. Yeah, so when I say raids, they don't... Sorry, let me just repeat this very quickly. Some raids will be on the same village or the same town. Some raids, they make it to the coast, but they came away with 7 humans, or they burnt a grain factory, or grain factory. That's what we're calling it now. Grain warehouse is what I was going for.
You're thinking the grain silo of something,
yeah,
right?
they're not all, we wiped out a village raids, but perpetual raiding is occurring. So whilst Regal is making friends with the inland duchies, the Witted have written repetitively to say that they've been unjustly punished for things that they didn't do. Such as, a Witted person would be blamed for setting their chickens upon somebody else's sheep or something. Why would you set a chicken on a sheep? Setting their foxes upon someone else's chickens is what I was going for. Or causing a blight in the... Yes, what Lucas said. Causing a blight upon somebody else's animals and other such things that the Witted aren't really said to be able to do. Webb will inform you that the Piebalds are a rather forceful faction, radical faction, if you like, of the Witted. And they're sort of demanding retribution, I was killed, so I want them killed, sort of thing. It's not the dead people appealing. God, I really am struggling with this. My sister was killed, so I want your sister killed, that sort of thing, right? In other news, the 2 new ships were launched, but those are the last 2 ships. They did, however, end the R cases. We've had the Regal, the Ruresk, the Revenge, and the Reaper, but we now have the Chivalry and the Farseer's Fury out on the water. In other news... Okay, I'm just going to have to click on a different tab so I can't see this constant conversation, because frankly, I don't care. A bit later, Kai realised that there is nothing more to be done for Queen Constance, as she was on the brink of death, and she did in fact pass away of the lung condition that she had. Perfectly natural death, probably the only one in this campaign. The king's mental health, however, seems in heavy decline after the death of the queen, and there seems to be no appearance of haze at any point. Winona standing on the ceiling constantly and a guard dog at wait. Nothing happening. 3 months later, however, Hod returns from the mountains. She was a weapons trainer and bladesmith, an incredibly competent swordsman, or swordswoman, I suppose, and reports that Verity and his comrades were attacked upon the road by men with bestial faces and attributes. That's all the information she has. She knows that many of her comrades were dead before the battle was over, but obviously every single one of them would have had to die for Verity to die, as they were standing around him in protection.
Did Verity not see it coming?
Maybe he did, but she certainly didn't make any mention of that. She fell down a hill, and she... thank you. And she couldn't get back. So instead she walked sort of 3 months back to, or a month and a half back to the Mountain Kingdom, and then all the way across the Mountain Kingdom to Valaris. Productive use of her time. Nevertheless, that's her report. You all try and contact Verity regularly, including the court mage, Jera. And eventually, after 4 weeks, Verity is pronounced dead, as there is no success in contacting him. Regal announces that his first move as king in waiting will be to move his father inland to Tradeford, up the river, as Valaris is too exposed on the coast and at too much risk and danger. He'll move the entire seat of the royals up there, but the dukes, however, demand he conducts the king in waiting ceremony where he becomes king in waiting at Valaris first, and only then will they witness him as king in waiting and allow him to move inwards to Tradeford. On the night of the ceremony, however, the candles all burn ominously blue, and there isn't a normal light to be found, giving a wholly creepy nature to the ceremony. During the ceremony, the king doesn't seem to have any clue why he's there or what he's doing. Can't remember any of the words, and in the end, Regal has to crown himself, which is fairly symbolic, if you like. At which point, after that, the following morning, finally, the guard dog and Winona pay off as they see Hayes arrive in the window. So bear in mind, no glass in the window. So shutters, right? He opens the shutters, he speaks 6 magical words, and is gone. The king's eyes sort of clear up, his mind clears up. He suddenly remembers who he is, where he is. He calls out for his sons, Chivalry and Verity, before keeling over unconscious. Winona sends Sakai, but instead, who turns up is Astrid Brightlance, who walks in on Winona holding the king's hands. I will get to you when I'm finished. Holding the king's hands as the king dies. Kind of awkward. You look a little guilty, really, if we're being real.
Oh, me?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Regal decides to go ahead with the move and move inland, and pretty much everybody at the castle is invited to move inland with them, except for you 5 and the lady patients, who just seem to have been forgotten. You had a question, Josh.
I have several.
How can you have several questions about something that you already know?
First of all, is Winona suspected of the murder?
Looks a bit dodgy, but frankly, nobody seems to care enough to investigate.
Okay, second of all, the king didn't say Regal's name?
No, because Regal's alive. He realizes he's lost his 2 sons, and sort of said that he was on his way to them. That sort of thing, yeah.
He's not like calling them because he wants them to come to him. He thinks they're in the castle.
No,
he's like,
I'm coming.
He's like seeing heaven and seeing their spirits.
I'm coming to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, I'm coming home.
Let's not throw heaven into the mix. It's probably the fugue plane, but sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay. And my third question is, if everyone's left, do we get the castle?
Until the Raiders take it, yeah. Why not?
Great! Dibs on the king's room.
Great.
Dibs on the king's room.
But sort of as Regal packs up and leaves, you're left behind. You guys sort of spend the first few days with dealing
kind
with...
of rude.
Yeah, I mean, Katrikan is sort of awkwardly brought along, but she... no, she's not brought along at all, sorry. Katrikan is awkwardly left behind as sort of the de facto ruler of Castle Valaris, to stand regent in thanks to her excellent service. which is very condescending and kind of harsh because it's as far away from the Mountain Kingdom as possible. Yeah, and it is about 3 days later where we pick up. Any final questions before we do pick up? Because we have just time skipped a lot. Good, I'm glad. Okay.
Oh! In the time that everyone's left and we've taken over the castle, could I and Winona start trying to track out where these hidden passages are?
Oh, that's exactly what I was going to be doing in the castle for sure.
Yeah, you make a beautiful map of them. Ridley's furious.
Okay, good.
Okay, but we pick up on a sort of cold night. It is winter. The raids have stopped for the most part during this winter. And although there was a horrible rumour that Near Island was to be ceded to the raiders. But that's not something we care about right now. Karina, as you sleep, you hear a sort of, at first it sounds like the scratching of a quill on parchment. Sort of, and then it continues, and it's as if somebody is trying to claw at the edge of your dream. You hear some faint crackling and what sounds like a vast wind at a great distance. And you think you can make out a single word. Alive. And just that, over and over again. Alive, alive, alive.
Does the voice sound at all familiar?
It sounds like the wind.
Concentrate on it.
Nothing more. Nothing less. Just a whisper on the wind. In a similar vein. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, if I open my eyes, do I see anything?
As soon as you open your eyes, the sound of the dream is gone. In a similar vein, Kai, during a peaceful slumber, I don't know, maybe in a water hammock or somewhere cool, depending on where you are right now. Do you think? I think they sleep in hammocks, the Tritons, personally, under the sea. I think that's just, maybe double hammocks to affect you going up or down, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, put me in a net. That seems
Giant
great.
plant.
No, they sleep on the seabed.
Oh, do they? I like the idea that they sleep inside giant ponds. But even so, we'll go with a hammock. You also find yourself sort of hearing something at the edge of your dreams. But this isn't wind, it's to you, it's the bubbling of a stream, or perhaps the cascading of a waterfall far away. And as you hear these sort of familiar, relaxing sounds of water, there's a cry for help. It sounds like somebody who's drowning. A gurgle cuts off the voice. This happens 5 or 6 times throughout your dream, and yet your dream self, as they search and search, trying to find the location and what's happened. Nothing. Nothing at all. Just emptiness and calm seas.
It's like always at the edge of the dream.
Yeah, just that slight faint gurgling and then a little bit of a drowning. And it's cut out. Nothing more.
Okay. And I can never see any disturbance.
No. As you fight that frustration, Luca, during your dream, you're walking through a forest late at night. You're in a dream walking through a forest. And you hear the rustle of leaves off to the right. And as you look to the rustle of leaves, you see a sort of a pair of eyes watching you from a distance. They're steely grey and belong to no animal that you can imagine. I'm taking back that hand, that wave. They belong to no animal that you can imagine. You get the feeling of being watched throughout the dream, and as you try and hunt your hunter and pursue your pursuer, turn the tables, and always they're watching from a distance.
Well, I should say, I don't know if my dream self has this, but I have alert. I don't know if that helps.
No, as I said, just I don't really care what abilities you have. Play along is what I said before the session started. If you were busy looking at your character sheet to find any answers within this moment, it's unfortunately it's more just a case of the constant feeling of being watched.
But it's a creature.
It's got steely. You have no idea. It's just a pair of eyes, sort of in the distance,
Okay.
rustling of leaves. You know, you catch it here, you catch it there. They're always so far away you can barely make out anything but the eyes. But they are eyes that would belong to no creature you could imagine.
I'm kind of getting the feeling like it feels like, I don't know if anyone's seen The Neverending Story, but there's a wolf that depicts death, and like a lot of the time you only see its like eyes in the shadows. That's how I feel.
Okay.
I'm glad Jay gets it.
That's fine. At the end of your dream, as you wake up, just before you wake up, a red dragonborn stands right over you, staring you in the eyes and shaking you on the shoulder. And you wake up as if they had woken you up in real life, shaking your shoulder, but you see no one. I've given the character hint to Josh, haven't I? What a terrible plan.
Right.
Yeah, somebody else ping him the red dragonborn or give him the name. Cool.
See, if it was a blue one, I'd think, Mum, is that you?
It's your uncle.
Yeah.
No, isn't that Verity's
There he is. That red dragonborn.
his
Right
bestie.
there. It's his personal right-hand man and servant, yes. Sharon, who went with him.
What does he want with me, of all people?
Wait, Sharon went with Verity
He
to
did,
the
Verity.
Mountain Kingdom?
Yeah,
Okay.
Verity's never left without Sharon.
Maybe they are alive, but they're trapped in a dream realm, and this is their way of trying to
Maybe.
They're
seek
in the
help.
Shadow Realm.
Winona, you have a very peaceful and nice evening. Your dream
Oh,
is,
good.
Your dream is trouble-free until the very last moment. And then just as you're about to wake up, you just hear this, alive, alive, alive. And it gets louder and louder until it becomes a roar, a shouting echo, as if a sort of gushing wind through a cave. And as you hear this, alive, you rip awake. Yeah, that is where you are at.
Okay. Somebody's alive. Somebody presumed dead. I can think of at least 2 people.
At least 2. Oh God, I nearly called you Kiavo. That would have been good, wouldn't it? Galfa.
Incredible.
You probably had a few tankards of ale at the end of last night and are sleeping fairly heavily. And for the most part, your dream is a memory. Not a current dream, but a memory of you making your way through the mountains, tracking a beast. Perhaps a wyvern or wyvern, however you want to say it. Perhaps some other form of large foe known to be dangerous in the ice plains. You're leading ahead of your tribe or pack, and this is you as a youngster. But every now and again you get a flash of red scales leading their way through the mountains. And as you follow these red scales through the mountains, you come upon a war-torn camp. A battle-strewn camp, if you prefer. A dishevelled tent. Blood. A mess of broken wood. And what appears to be a single man. Human, you think. His body gone almost to bones. A shining, bright, very, very priceless looking sword in his hand, still clutched halfway into the earth. As you come across this man, you wake up. A group of you. Where would we all be? I think for ease of access, we'll say that you're all somewhere within realms of Valaris Castle. And can meet there for breakfast.
Heck yeah.
With the exception of Kai, who probably just staffs in apropos of dream, right? Wakes up in the middle of a slumbering hammock, is like, oh, really? That dream doesn't seem relevant to Tritons. Twists the staff and turns up in Valaris.
Kai, come in. We need you at home base.
I'm right behind you.
And with that, as you all join for breakfast, whatever. It's a fairly sad affair. They took all the good cooks. Um, they left sort of a young training cook and cook Sarah's auntie, who's sort of 92 at the moment and human.
Cool.
She can't even wield a rolling pin anymore. It is too heavy for her. She has lost her proficiency. She is a spatula-only kind of woman. Nevertheless, breakfast is still reeled out for those still here every day. The lady patient still doesn't come down and has her meals brought up to her and her woman Lacey. So it's sort of Katrigan, and then like a long gap at the high table, and then you guys. But today,
I think.
Oh, go on.
Sorry. I think if the kings, or rather not the king because he's dead now. I guess if anyone else that left had left any of the king's clothing, Luca will come down wearing the king's pajamas.
Love that.
Oh.
Yep. It's a real shame the
Another
king's not a
luxurious-
tabaxi, isn't it? Because then you'd be in the cat's pajamas.
Wow.
I am
boy.
the cat's pajamas.
Yeah. Regardless, you will find yourself lined up on the high table, and Katrikan is there looking grieved. She's got sort of big dark bags under her eyes. She never comes down looking disheveled, but today she is. Her hair is sort of a bit scraggly and pulled to one side, and she eats alone, 6 or 7 seats up from you all.
What's for breakfast?
Nothing much of interest. There's eggs, there's bacon, there's sausages, there's bread, but it's all, you know, like the bacon's too crispy, the sausages are a little hard and overcooked, the eggs are sloppy. You know what it's like.
I'll have an apple.
Yeah, they've got those. The orchard's still
So-
in fashion.
So how many people exactly left? Does it seem like? Can we sort of identify by how
Exactly.
few people were here?
782 out of 841. You don't really know. They didn't. The only nobles or people of note that were left behind were either those who were too minor to be worth mentioning, the lady patients, Katrikan, and yourselves.
Okay. Did we have reason to think a bunch of non-nobles followed them as well, or?
Oh yeah, like all their servants, their entourage, you know, the works people, all of that. And a huge dining hall designed for many. There are 12 of you eating.
Okay. That's kind of lonely.
Yeah, nobody's here.
Katrikan.
Do you call 6 seats down, Katrigan? Or do you sort of move over and sit in the queen's old seat, or what's the going?
Sure, I'll go over to her.
Okay. She sort of looks at you. Good morning, Winona.
Good morning. Are you alright? You been having trouble sleeping?
Oh, is it that obvious? She sort of wipes it
A
away.
little bit.
Yeah, all night. It's like somebody's whispering to me from a distance.
What a coincidence. I assume we have all shared our dreams with each other, right?
We've all arrived down for
Not
breakfast.
yet.
No sharing has happened.
Guys, let's
Everybody just shuffles up 5 seats.
let's all sit together first of
Oh,
all.
we're over here, are we? Okay, cool. There's a quick scramble as Luca tries to get in the king's old chair. Like,
I wasn't
jumping the
already?
line. No. You were
wasn't.
sitting in your own chair and then realizing that people were moving up. Everybody was sort of moving up, and you sort of scrambled into the king's chair, leaving Galthax sort of awkwardly positioning himself in the smaller queen's chair. You're all together. Katrigan sort of looks at you and, oh, well, I suppose when there aren't many people here, we should really have this table made shorter. And we should eat together. Good morning, all. I was just telling Winona I've been having difficulty sleeping. A strange whispering constantly at the edge of my dream, not letting me sleep.
What did the whispers say?
I couldn't make it out. It was almost like a scratching sound, like a quill on parchment.
Dead alive.
You were there? The lady Patience mentioned you visit her dreams.
I wasn't in your dream. I was in my own. I heard.
Oh, then perhaps it's in the castle. And not a dream at all. Sometimes the dreams pick up the subconscious things that we hear outside in the real world, right?
Well, I don't know. I also had a strange dream. Not what you described exactly, but something like a whisper and then a shout. Alive, alive.
Alive. Could it? Could it be my lord? My husband? It has to be,
That
right?
was.
It could only be.
I don't want to get her hopes up, but that's what I was thinking as well.
To each of you who heard the word alive, please give me a history check.
Oh, Karina, you don't visit our dreams, right? Because if you were there a couple of nights ago, I can explain.
Can you imagine? That Corinna was just like, oh yeah, actually all of these dreams are me. I was just popping in going, alive, 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 alive.
Only when you least expect it.
Wow. She comes in and just like does random things like dangle the fish and paint them orange. It's always really creepy to
So
see a
that
fish facing
idea
downwards.
was doing.
Okay, so everybody who heard the word alive in their dream, history check, please. I think there should be 3 of you, correct? No, just the 2 of you. You're right, just the 2 of you.
Oh, just us two. Okay.
Yeah. Karina?
22.
No, not Callum. Winona?
27.
Great. The 2 of you do recognize the voice very slightly, sort of when she mentions is it Verity, and you just think it was a little strong for Verity, a little sharp for Verity. With 27, Winona, you think that maybe it belonged to Sharon?
Oh, okay. Huh. Either way, someone very connected to Verity. What? I mean, is this some kind of spell, do you think? Like what Karina does?
Only you guys can answer that question.
You guys mentioned the Dragonborn's name.
Yeah, Sharon.
Okay, then in that case, I will then tell them that I had a weird dream too. I was walking in the woods, and there was something following me, but I just couldn't find it. And then as I turned around, that Dragonborn was shaking me awake.
I just really liked it when Luca's like, I had a weird dream too. I was walking through the woods. Everybody's just going, yes, Luca, okay. Because he's just got such a propensity to be silly and fun, right? And then it's actually relevant, and everybody's like, oh.
Yeah, that's not usual.
Oh fuck! Oh, funny bone, really not funny.
Oh no.
Yeah. Why do they call it that? It's the stupidest name for a bone ever. It
Yeah.
should be the fuck bone.
What if that Sharon is trying to contact us through dreams, but it's getting muffled along the way, which is why I saw them but didn't hear them, and you guys had heard them but didn't see them.
Oh.
The way I contact people through dreams is... It's very strong magic. That,
You could just hear Alora wanted to say a 4th level spell, or 5th level spell.
5th level spell.
I don't remember Sharon casting any. Yeah.
No, Sharon has never cast a spell ever.
This seems
That we
like
know
something else. Maybe environmental?
Ooh. Karina, why don't you try sending a message to Sharon specifically?
Okay.
Because nothing's been going through to Verity,
You
right?
need to prepare it.
Okay, let's go to bed.
It's breakfast.
Yeah,
I mean,
to be fair, you have almost always had sending prepared, so I'm more than happy for you to use
yeah,
it
I
in
do
this
have it
situation.
already.
Yeah.
I'll just turn and draw some runes in the air, and then
Okay, what do you say?
Sharim, if you're alive, we've heard you. Can you give us any information?
Upon saying this, you hear sort of a massive sweeping gale in your ears. Is anyone alive? Comes through very clearly. Is anyone alive? That's what he's calling out. Give me an insight check.
I'm loving this mysterious, ominous music, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Good.
My insight's
Mystery
not
3.
good. That's a 9.
It's not good. It's a 9.
Can I give her my wait, can I give her my inspiration to re-roll it?
No, you've got to use your inspiration for your own abilities. So, Karina, you get that sort of right on the edge of your mind, you know this makes sense in some way, but you can't put the pieces together. But obviously you do know that it's Sharim saying, is anyone alive? And he sounds like he's in the mountains.
I don't know if you heard me, but I think he's alive.
You know he's alive, I will tell you that for free. Sharim is 100% alive somewhere.
I think he's alive.
But which mountains? The Barrens? The Mountain Kingdom?
Well, if he
Cled?
went this way and ended up over there, he's really fucked up.
What are you talking about? Why is the desert the Barrens over here? Where
This
that mountain
mountain.
is.
Okay, if he went this way
Desolation.
and ended up over there, he's fucked up.
What, have you never heard of magic?
Sure. But you do know that they headed up the river and that way, somewhere.
And off the map.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point, right? Is it is off the
They've
map.
headed to Westeros.
Yes.
So they'll be lost in the areas I'll be a little bit more familiar with.
No.
Not the mountains itself, but not far from the area I would be at least. You know, the mountains nearish.
Yeah, you might be
nearish
aware of the area 200 miles away. No, this is undocumented territory. You know of no one who has been in that direction.
Except for one.
Oh,
Well, yeah, except for Verity, obviously.
god damn, he went far.
Nope,
There is
the one who came back.
Hod.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You also have, of course, the original maps. Katrikan will say, I've still got the maps that Verity made copies of to go on his journey. Perhaps if we followed the same maps, we might get to the same places. In very cliched form, Hod took an arrow to the knee.
No.
She actually did. Admittedly, in the books it's Burek, but I forgot to send him with Verity, so it made no sense for him to come back. So I used Hod, who dies in the books. Yeah, basically she comes back with this horrible knee wound that she
Oh
can
my
barely walk.
goodness.
So she will say she can't take you, but she can show you on the map where they were following. Katrikan looks at you and, we should find him, right? But I'd be abandoning my duties. But we should, we must.
We're talking about going into the mountains in
Yes.
the dead of winter.
And how many of you have spent time in
that's
the
true.
mountains in the dead of winter? Perhaps just you, Galfleck? And myself. I hunted there as a child. Many years. I know those mountains well, at least the way where they'll start, and I know that we'll be able to get more information from my father.
Okay, so we'll stop and get some, some parkas, some mittens, some snowshoes.
We'll need Jeppers, and... She sort of nods to herself, and when can you be ready to leave?
Well, my schedule up till now was keeping an eye on that king, and
the
so I'm
camel.
pretty much open. Yeah, Missy the camel lives here at the
The
castle
king
now.
and the camel.
She's in the gardens.
How many times per day can you cast teleport? Is it once? And
Yeah,
how many
it's
people can
once.
you teleport?
Pretty
Is it creatures or people?
Ooh,
sure it's creatures.
Cool. So if somebody, for example, did want their mount to be in the Mountain Kingdom, you might be able to stretch it to a couple.
Oh, that's the wrong spell. That's banishment.
Don't
That's
banish.
the opposite.
It's a minute. It'd be great if
There
it
it
lasted a longer time, but a minute is really unhelpful.
Yeah, jolly minute in the
Yeah.
Feywilds. Yeah.
Up to 8 willing creatures of your choice that you can see within range.
So there are 6 of you. Katrikan has somebody in mind for number 7, so one person can bring a mount. Don't take a camel to the icy mountains. Katrikan assures you that you will be able to procure mounts there. I think Vero travels automatically.
I can dismiss him and summon
put
him
him in a
at will,
necklace.
so...
I
What was
so
What's that?
that? Jamal, you went, "Hey!"
I'm thinking. So
good.
where
I
is
think his
where-
programming's
where's
bugging.
Sorry, Jamal.
Where is
go
it we're
ahead.
teleporting to exactly?
Right
Like
now,
here?
the suggestion is Jahamp.
Has Jahan for longer term food supplies that can actually last
Katrikan
through
assures
the
you that she'll be able to get everything relevant for the journey in the mountains.
Okay, then I don't need to prep here at least. We can go whenever. Yeah.
Got weapon ready. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, that's it.
I think Karina might perhaps need more than 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't love the idea of leaving an abandoned Valaris with Cabot and Mrs. Higgs here.
She has Burek and Galfax
They can-
bodyguards, no? Besides, hasn't that kid got plot armor?
He sure does. You know, they could stay with...
Swift-witted and Webb.
Thank you. Them and stay at my dad's house, which is in...
How big is your dad's house?
It's like a cottage in the woods!
Yeah, well, they can sleep under the stars, but they are a bit more inland. He's like dead in the middle of this little foresty area. It could be
His
safer.
radar's working brilliantly.
Yeah, sorry.
His echolocation.
Yeah,
That's where I'm
Yes,
sending
okay.
Swiftwid.
yes. Webb, however,
Yes.
probably isn't with him. Webb is probably at Tradeford with Regal.
That's fine.
Oh,
Katrikan sort of looked at you and I'd forgotten about the boy, if I'm honest. Perhaps a day? Is that enough time to prepare? Or even a couple? Alternatively, you could bring the boy to Jahamp. He'll be safe there.
ooh, there's an idea. Get him away from all this politicking.
Completely as safe
Get him
as
away
Rur-
from
as Ruris
Regal.
was, as Verity was, as Regal, possibly Unreal Regal was, as Discretion was. No one dies in the Mountain Kingdom.
exactly.
But
I don't know. This sounds like what he would do in the book. We should do the opposite of that and leave him here.
Let's
I
leave
hate
him
to tell
here.
you, but the guy you're leaving is the person who makes the journey in the book. You are Kepit in this story.
Yeah.
He doesn't leave himself behind. That would be weird. What's the plan, Corinne? Jump.
Just really wish there was a way, some sort of fancy.
Let's see.
If an object uses its charges and then I turn the time back on the object, are the charges back?
Oh my goodness.
We've had this discussion with your
Just
run
this
of
one
security
time,
before.
maybe?
I mean, you could use it for up to, I think it's 100 days, isn't it? Why is it run out
Say
of
what?
charges?
Say again?
Why is it run out of charges?
No. The staff, if we were to try to teleport twice in a day.
Well, you could
I
teleport
think
them
it
and then with you, and then teleport everybody else the following day. Right, Katrika was willing to wait 2 days, so that gives you 3 days of teleportation, right? It recharges every day, so you can just teleport 8, come back, following day, teleport 8. Well, technically, that's
Yep.
not how that works. You teleport 8,
Well, you could-
come
you
back
could
the following
send
day, and
a
teleport
group.
the third day. I don't think
You
Kai
can send a group.
You can? Kai, you can teleport people without teleporting yourself?
Pretty sure.
That sounds very dangerous. Just head in that
Sounds
direction.
incredible, though.
Good luck.
Oh. Or a single object. So you can send an object, you just can't send a person, apparently.
But yeah, I mean, Kai can
Why-
teleport there, teleport back the next day, and teleport there again the following day.
Yeah.
Why don't we send him to Princess Grace? She's safe and sound.
She's with Regal.
Yeah, I
Ugh.
don't want him with Regal.
Oh, I thought she was vacationing in the Pirate Isles.
Pretty much.
Oh, her head is vacationing in the Pirate Isles. The rest of her is with Regal.
What's
skull is
Regal
being used
doing
as a
with the
monk.
rest of her?
They buried her.
She's dead.
Yeah,
I hate to ask
Not
it, but
one
if
on
we
the
could wait
royal pile.
the 3 days just so we can do 2 teleports to
Yeah,
get
yeah. We can do
everything
two
to
teleports.
jump.
You want everybody to Jahamp. So that is Mrs. Higgs, Burek, maybe a tutor, a bodyguard or two, yourself, and Kepit in the first instance. And then Kai will teleport back, and in the second instance we'll bring Galthak, Luca, Winona themselves, and maybe a couple more guards, Katrikan, and one other person that Katrikan really wants to bring.
Who is that? Her bestie? That handmaid?
She told you that she wants to bring someone. She didn't tell you who. She didn't
Oh,
think that
she's
you
being
needed to know.
secretive.
More so, she's got that annoying royal habit of, like, she'll inform you when you need to know sort of thing.
So
I can tell you that Kai loves them.
Oh, my employee? Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
That, otherwise known as that fucking minstrel.
Heck
You know,
yeah,
it's
come
a real
along.
shame that I get to choose who comes.
Yes.
Oh,
And she's not your queen.
Exactly.
And she says that she knows that you're a bard, but you're not the kind of record-keeping bard. And specific records must be kept of the journey, and she believes that Starling is the most appropriate person to come along. Fuck knows why.
I'm sure you do think that.
It's alright. If she doesn't make it, she doesn't make it. Cool. Okay. So that's the plan, yeah? Day 3, Jahan.
Yeah.
Okay. Day 3, Jahan. You arrive in... Is this the right music? I think it is right. This is Jahan music. This is no music, apparently. Yeah, there we go. Day 1, Jahamp is Karina arriving and with a letter from Katrikan saying, please house me. And like some sort of lost puppy, just springing into existence in... Which place in Jahamp do you think Kai knows best?
Ooh.
And is it the tavern?
Honestly, probably is.
Yeah, I thought so.
been
Cool.
lot
There's a bunch of Nords. Wow, James.
We're in Skyrim, baby.
I would probably try and get us outside of that, but
Oh, okay. I like the idea there's just a bunch of drunken people from the Mountain Kingdom. They look up and they're like, you weren't there a second ago.
actually, they probably love that even more. I'm definitely going to bring us
Yeah.
inside the tavern.
Cool. You pop up. The innkeeper's like, people don't normally arrive that way. Do you want a drink? And Karina's like, I have an 8-year-old with me. Or 9-year-old now. Maybe 10-year-old, actually. And she's like,
Wow.
oh, sorry for asking. And you take your
Shield
letter
the
off
child's eyes.
to the bar. It's the sort of communal eating area as well, right? The inn. It's all very giving and lovely, and probably great ideals to instill into a 10-year-old who's been learning how to be an assassin. Nevertheless, you can take him up to the palace, inverted commas, the big tent, and the King Eod, sacrifice as he's known in the mountains, will find places for all your entourage to stay. 2 days later, poof, Kai appears in the tavern, and the innkeeper's like, this is becoming a habit. Can I get you a drink? You don't seem to have any children with you. Hey, look, that's the princess. And they all sort of like sacrifice, and then the drinks are free.
Yay.
Yeah. After which you guys can all convene. Katrina will tell you she needs 24 hours to prepare for the journey. Percentage chance Starling turned up. Katrina did ask nicely.
Infinite. I was holding her hand.
That's how that works. Be nice.
Let's roll to see.
Yeah, why not?
Below 10, she didn't. Above 10 or 10 and
I
above, she did.
like the fact that divine intervention would remove her. Oh, it's a D20. I thought it was going to be a D100. If my god intervenes, she ain't turning up. It's a 2. Yeah, Starling. Lost in translation. Damn
Whoops.
it! I was sure she was with us in the book.
Yeah, no. Like I don't know what happened. I did everything right as always. 21.
That's okay. She was never any use anyway. That's a nat 1. Why is that a
I'll
nat?
use my
Why
inspiration
is that a nat 1? That's really weird.
Wow,
Really
that's
too.
weird.
because I can't get anything lower than 21.
I didn't think that nat 1s applied on eloquence bards, but that's fine. As are. She does not need a deception roll right now. She trusts you instinctively, and she's really not that bummed. It's just annoying because she was with us in the book. She is all she says, and you're like, "What book?" She's like, "Fourth wall, leave it alone." And then you guys can wait in Jaham for 24 hours. What do you do in Jaham for 24 hours?
Chilling.
Hard chilling.
Yeah.
I might walk around, see if I see any signs of gestury goings on.
Yeah, any jester-like folk around.
So last you heard of the jester, they were all gold. Gold skins, dressed up gold. No sign of them either. No black and white jester, no gold jester. How annoying.
Maybe he's green now.
You search for anybody in single or monochrome or duochrome, is that right? Heterochrome? I don't know what the word is for two colours. For either monochrome or two-colour design, but alas, nothing turns up. But it occupied you for 24 hours. The following day, Katrika will wake each of you at 6 a.m. and tell you that she is ready to travel.
All right. How did she
Well,
prepare?
Hold on, just because she's ready at 6 a.m. don't mean I am. The fuck?
She's got that annoying
10
royal habit of
we
need-to-know
leave.
basis. Well, she'll tell you a hearty breakfast is important. She's packed six animals, all in tandem together. They're called jeppers. They are a little like alpacas, but they're something between a goat and a mule. A little larger than a goat, very sturdy creatures. They're good at walking up the mountains. They can carry a decent weight, and worst comes to worst, they can be eaten. They also produce milk, though only 2 of them are in milk-producing mode, given that the other 4 are male. Go on, Josh.
And you were saying what the beast was like, and I thought it would be cool to play a halfling who's a beastmaster ranger whose pet is a goat. Because could they ride a goat? Maybe.
If the goat is big enough and they are small enough. Winona sure as hell could ride a jepper. That is for sure, if she wanted to. But not these jeppers, because they are covered in baggage. They are the baggage train. She has brought supplies, she's brought copies of the old maps, she's brought gold and jewels for bartering should they need it, especially if they have to make a deal with the Solas. She's brought the books on the Eldlings, or Solas. She's brought spare weapons. She's brought plenty of rope and grappling hooks and snowshoes and climbing shoes and climbing equipment, and anything else she could find. A dungeoneer's pack. Hell, even a diplomat's pack if she needs it. She's got all of the non-magical items you could ever need in the world. She also has 2 magical items, which she will tell you about. The first is a staff that when planted in the ground becomes a tree. Who knows? She thinks it'll be useful. And a folding boat.
All right.
But she suggests that you travel on foot along the river, not on the river, because the cliff edges on the river can be quite high. And she suggests that you head on up into the mountains.
Nice.
She will show you all the old map, which you will have next week as an asset, but I don't have it ready yet. I spent so long crinkling the parchment and doing the backing colours that I forgot to actually draw the map in time. I was having fun. So I just have a crinkled piece of paper for you right now. You were going to ask a question.
Maybe it's invisible ink that we have to remove.
Yes, indeed.
Ooh, lemon juice.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said lemon juice. It's like a thing on detective shows with invisible ink. You know.
I need to watch more lemon juice. Okay. Yeah. Does anybody have any weird things that they're bringing along? Like
Weird
stuff that become
things.
trees
Well,
or-
I just want to quickly say Vero's in his ice form.
Of course.
Nice.
Because no creatures in the mountains will possibly resist cold.
I want to be able to resist cold.
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll give you that. You have become one with the mountain. Vero has laid down sideways upon a mountain and completely disappeared in camouflage.
But he's not white, he's baby blue. Do you want me to send you the
Like a
picture
rucksack?
again? To show you the picture.
Hold on, I think I've got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sure. I mean, he's quite white in that picture.
He absolutely is not. But okay.
As a matter of opinion, that's quite white to me. It's the image that's blue. But
Yeah.
we'll go with it. Yeah.
Whoa. Vera, what have you
Hero
done?
is taking over the world again.
My mouse fell over the edge of the map.
Oh yeah.
It became Vero City. Cool. I've suddenly realized that this boat icon is a highly inappropriate party token for you guys in the mountains. Fuck it, let's use Vero.
Yay.
Okay. Yeah, so any strange preparations, things that you are doing in advance on your way up the mountains?
I will buy 2 sturdy draft horses
Oh,
because
wow.
we could not teleport any horses over here. Or here I can cap it.
You... Oh, okay, brilliant. Cool. Okay. Yeah, Katrika will inform you that bringing horses is not advisable, but obviously giving them to people who are staying in Jahamp is perfectly advisable, and that sounds great. Kepit is very pleased that they have a horse to ride. Any other further preparations before departing?
Yes. Just in case we accidentally fall into like an ice lake or something. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to cast water breathing on everyone present.
How long does that last?
Whoa.
It lasts 24 hours.
Oh, cool. Okay. So you guys will be able to breathe water for the duration of this part of the journey.
Yes. It's kind of cool. So, like, you look fine and normal, but then if you dunk your head in water, you get gills open up on your
Ugh.
Winona
I
is
assume this
displeased.
casted on me.
So what did you say, Jay?
So hold up.
I assume it's not casted on me.
Yes.
Oh, right, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay.
That would be a bit redundant. Unless you want gills.
It takes away my
What?
water breathing.
Oh, it does?
No, wouldn't it be funny though?
Oh, right.
It cancels out.
That would be
It cancels out, so no, I'm just...
okay.
Hey, just a regular landlubber.
As you all get ready to set out for the day. Katrikan has brought 2 men with her. They are her father's men. They will see you to the foot of the mountains, at which point they will return, potentially with any news, if any news has been found on that journey. Okay. Let us get out into the Arctic wild. I'm not going to lie, guys. I thought about imagery for all of this, and I just thought it wasn't worth the effort, because it's all going to look like a mountain. And after a while, it's going to become kind of samey, and we're going to get bored with just constantly, moving a token along a plain screen.
That's. We got winter coats, right?
Yeah, you've got cold winter clothing. If you didn't have it, you can add it.
Cool.
No, that's not what I want. This is what I want. Cool.
Oh yeah.
And as you leave the Mountain Kingdom and begin to wind your way up, even within an hour, it is cold out here. It's Katrina will tell you it's actually less cold when you get to the mountains, but here in the open tundra, the wind sweeps down and sort of cuts across, bringing sort of the very top level of snow across as well. So there's just this sort of dusty bluster of powdered snow in the air. It's incredibly bright as the sun glints off of the snowy sky and snowy ground. Even sorry, I don't know why the sky is snowy. The river is still flowing rapidly. It is its speed that keeps it from freezing up. But obviously it flows towards you, and going up it would be quite difficult. Nevertheless, it is the river that you use to keep track of exactly where you are going as you make your journey. Within a couple of hours, maybe 3 or 4, Katrina will point out a small stone circle. It's been built. It's approximately 6 bricks high, so only sort of a foot off the ground, if that, maybe half a foot. But it's been built in the mountain style to contain a fire. And she mentions that these sort of old outposts will always have something sort of buried under the ground in terms of a supply cache, and if you are to use it, you will try and refill it as you leave. She hopes to stop by these as often as possible until you get to the mountains. And she gestures towards one of the men and tells you that Killian will know where most of them are. As you continue travelling onwards, Winona, are you writing something or are you walking?
I would assume I'm riding something. I imagine the snow will slow down my already short legs.
Mm-hmm. The Jeppers are fairly baggaged up, so it's a choice between a Phantom Steed or Galvac. That's what I got for you.
Can I sit on your shoulders, Galvac?
Those are your mounts of choice.
Like the kid at Disney World.
Unless you have some other form of summons, or mounting.
I mean, I could. Well, no, I'll just use my Air Jordans and jump just right up to Galvac's shoulders.
Yeah, as you boing up onto Galvac's shoulder, like for a moment he thinks that maybe a bird has pooed on him, and he goes like this, and he's like, "Oh, Winona," you're not heavy enough for him to even notice.
Don't mind me.
On the
We've got phantom steeds that literally just
drape.
float over the ground, and you choose Galvac.
But if you remember, I don't let you summon more than 2 of them at once. I think it's a bit weird.
But
Yeah.
you could have used my broom of flying.
What? You have that?
Yeah, I mean, right now, Luca and Vero aren't currently with the party. They're sort of like 60 or 70 feet up in the air, each side of you, swooping round, creating mischief, I think. Is that fair, or are you not flying as yet?
Yeah, because I can't fly with Vero. I mean, I was just assuming that I was just riding him, just walking on the ground.
Oh, you could do that.
And that's why I suggested maybe she could use the broom of flying. I don't
okay.
think it's achievement, is it?
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
It does not.
So, yeah.
Wow, well, that's kind of a look, too.
Well, now someone got like shoulders, and Luca's just like, "Do you want a broom?"
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll switch off. Sure, I'll ride the broom for now. Look like a little witch.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. So as Winona glides up into the air, Karina and Kai on Phantom Steeds.
Yeah, using our figurines.
Figurines? Am I in the wrong campaign?
Yeah, Winona and Karina crafted Phantom
Yeah.
Steed figurines.
Phantom Steed figurines. Yeah, I remember these. They were cool.
That did happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
It lasts 12 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, so 2 of those. Luca is on Vero, and Galvac is being sturdy. and wandering along next to the Jeppers. Katrikan is walking, as are the two men, so there's no point riding too far ahead. But yes, Winona is the only person who's struggling in this terrain, although I think it's likely that Karina and Kai are cold. I don't know how tridents work. Do you think they don't feel the cold as much, or?
They live in the frigid depths of the sea, so it's constantly cold where they live.
Is it cold like at that point, or does it?
I have resistance to cold, so I assume.
Great, yeah, it's
I do have
freezing.
cold resist.
Okay, yeah, no, okay. So only Karina is and Winona are cold in this land. Galthak couldn't care less. Luca has fur, and Tritons are used to the, as you said, frigid depths. Neither Katrikan nor the men appear particularly bothered by the cold and snow either. She does, however, stop you after only 3 or 4 hours, which is quite early. You guys are used to travelling quite hard. And she suggests that each of you eat. She says that the mountains can take a lot out of you more quickly than you think, and you can easily fall down with exhaustion. Then she sort of looks around and is like, these guys aren't doing anything, or their mounts are doing all the work. But nevertheless, she and her men will stop to eat, and you're more than welcome to join in. They stop at one of these circular, almost like wells, I guess, like fireplace holders. Very quickly, Killian will strike up a fire, and his brother is what I'm looking for. I don't know why I couldn't find that. His brother Dolan will sort of go to the Jeppers, and he gets out this big pot, and in it he puts some sort of grain. It looks like the same grain they've been feeding the Jeppers as they go, but looks like it's also what you guys are eating. He boils it up into a sort of soupy stew. It's very thick and very warming. And then he pours liberal amounts of honey into it, making it really quite tasty. It's basically glorified porridge, and this is what you're going to be surviving on for the most part, unless one of you wants some magic, some nice food and drink into existence.
How's the area looking for like creatures that could be potentially completely
You are in a
right.
barren tundra. If you ask Dolan, he will tell you that sometimes caribou can be hunted. There are other creatures as well, snow leopards, snow foxes, other creatures like that. But creatures are usually better at hunting than being hunted. A hunt can take 4 to 8 hours in this sort of environment, which is usually not worth the effort. Vero, however, might have a bit more.
The ice plains.
Yes, very similar to the ice plains. But Vero might have a bit more luck purely based on speed. So if Vero was to be willing to give an animal to the group, then they would be able to eat, but it's highly unlikely, I think, that Vero will kill something and not eat it unless Luca is starving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless Luca asks, like, unless it's for Luca. He don't care about you people.
No, figured. So Vero is more than capable of hunting for himself, but not really going to offer to hunt for anyone else. So the rest of you can enjoy your porridge. Each time you consume this porridge, it will give you advantage on Constitution saving throws.
Yum.
So for the duration of this journey, provided you are willing to eat porridge, you may all have advantage on Constitution saving throws, so long as the Jepper's grain survives. The creatures appear to sort of like shove their noses down into the snow and eat some of the grass that is under the snow. So they're pretty self-sufficient, the Jeppers. Katrikan doesn't bother tying them up. Exactly that. They're shoving their noses into the snow and eating the...
No, as in, how are they doing?
How are they doing? Yeah, they seem so chill. They are tied together, but in the most part, they're not like... Katrikan's not trying to keep hold of them or anything. They will just follow the humans. They are tamed like that. They're perfect baggage train creatures. They don't seem too fussed. Katrikan sort of at one point is trying to busy herself looking for sign that her husband camped here 5.5 months ago now. She's not going to find it. It wouldn't matter if you got a nat 20 on a plus 12 survival. No one's going to find anything after that much snow has fallen past. But she was feeling hopeful. But with that, after sort of that meal, another 4 hours passes, same thing again, and you are able to make your way along the river a little bit, where you get to nighttime. You stop again at one of these places, but this time there is a single wall, just a single wall of shelter. Each person that comes here, according to Killian, tries to build a level of wall, and he indeed will go and start excavating some rocks out of the ground, and he'll try packing up the wall. He'll explain that the wall sinks down into the ground over time, either because of melt or erosion or all sorts, so people have to keep maintaining it. But you will all be able to sleep with your backs against the wall tonight, keeping the wind away from one direction. They pull sort of a canvas tarp down over the front and create a fire in the fire pit. Do you know what? It's surprisingly cozy. Surprisingly cozy. And as you all fall asleep, once again you hear that sound in your dreams, that sort of scratching sound. But this time each of you can make out the words. Is anyone alive? Is anyone alive? Is anyone alive? Is anyone out there? Is anyone alive? It is then repeated, and Winona and Luca will hear it called out in Draconic. Is anyone alive?
Whoa.
Is anyone out there?
Do we know of any creatures that mimics other creatures to lure them in to kill them?
Give me an H check.
I'd love to.
I'm sure you would.
Come on, +1. That's a 16.
Wow.
Not as far as you know. There are some creatures, some magical creatures who can use like the sounds of humans in general, but not to the point of voices, and certainly not calling out in dreams.
Oh no, I'm not saying that that's not.
No, but just in general, like
I'm
they
just
wouldn't
saying.
mimic voices. You know, just sort of the sounds of like laughter in the background or breathing. That sort of thing. Maybe,
but not something specific.
Indeed. And these words are quite specific, especially as he called out in 2 languages. But even if you call back in your dream, there is no response. I do want to make it very clear, Karina, you are still hearing that scratching sound like a parchment on, like a quill on parchment. That does seem to be a separate
Yeah,
sound.
am I sure that that's what that sounds like? Is there...
Yeah, you're very sure that sounds like a quill on parchment. The number of times you've had to write a scroll in your spellbook, you know exactly what a quill on parchment sounds like. It is that exact sound. It's like you're in some kind of movie and somebody's writing a journal in the background, you know.
Is Katrikan having the dream as well?
We'll get to that in the morning. Sorry, Karina?
Hearing him again and repeating the same phrase over and over again that I heard before. Do I have any ideas of what could be going on with him?
Give me an Arcana check.
That's what I was hoping for. 28.
Oh, well.
Whoa.
Yeah, so there was a moment when this happened to you when you were out at sea. And Verity used the sending stone. When he was first using it, he wasn't very good with it. And as you remember, he left some really shitty messages. But also, he sort of communicated what was sort of what he was hearing or what he was feeling. You think this is a form of sending? And you do know that Verity took both sending stones with him when he went up into the mountains. Perhaps Sharim is using it subconsciously without directing it anywhere in particular. It still shouldn't keep happening, and it shouldn't be happening in your dreams, but that is the idea that you get in your head, is like maybe it's that sending stone again. Maybe it's that sort of feeling. You do, however, with a 28, remember that there are also what's called echoes of magic. So sometimes when magic is used in sort of a desperate situation or used very strongly, it can repeat over and over for a long period of time afterwards. This commonly happens with sort of the last gasp spell of somebody, you know. So you've heard rumors of somebody sending ascending, love that phrase, sending ascending on their deathbed, and the recipient hearing it for 3 or 4 days.
Oh no.
That's
so there is
the worst.
a chance it's magical echoes. Yeah, right? Goodbye, I love you. Goodbye, I love you. Goodbye, I love you. Like, shit, Jesus, I'm done with my grieving. Shut up. But yes, you have heard of this phenomenon before. It's called magical echoing. In the morning, Katrika will inform you that she heard the voice again at night, and that she didn't recognize it to be Verity.
No. We heard him speak Draconic, which I think might confirm our theory that it was Sharam.
Ah, interesting. Did you have any dreams? She turns to Killian and Dolan, and they both turn back, and unanimously at the same time, they both said, I dreamt of Olive. And they look at each other. They have a rivalry going for a woman back home.
Oh, scandalous.
Neither one of them has slept with her as yet. It's not Dodge. But yes, they are rivals competing for a woman's hand. She's the bartender, if that's of interest to anyone. She is alive, but isn't broadcasting it. She sort of says, men. And she looks to Winona and Karina specifically.
Sympathetic look.
Yeah. So we have hope still, right? Well, of course we have hope. Otherwise, we wouldn't be setting out. It's too soon to be doubting ourselves. And with that, she will look around. Is everybody ready for some porridge?
Oh, yes, please.
The second day progresses fairly boringly, even until you get to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, where Dolan will bend down to the ground and look at the tracks and tell you that he doesn't recognize them. Anybody proficient in survival? Probably our barbarian.
Yes.
I'm half
Yeah.
proficient.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Oh, you are proficient as well, Luca? Okay, both of you can I have a survival check,
Yes.
please, for two very different things.
With a plus 10, a 13.
The mark on the ground is like a three-toed creature. They all point slightly forwards. They do look to be clawed. With a 13, you think it's some kind of tall bird, perhaps? If you were anywhere else, you'd think it was an ostrich. But ostriches don't run in the snow.
They don't?
No.
Where do they run?
The desert, the
sand.
Sahara, the sand, sort of anywhere hot. Not the snow.
They're not claw-shaped like a dragonborn.
No, claw-shaped like a bird. Yes. A three-toed bird,
Are
like an ostrich.
Are Aarakocras a thing in this world?
They don't have feet like that.
Okay.
I
I just want to cover my bases.
You're standing there and you're literally like, this is an ostrich, but we're in the snow. So it's not an ostrich.
Alright, so it could be a variant.
Dolan will turn back and like, man, I've heard of snow emus, but I've never seen them. It's because they were kind of mythical, really. Apparently they disappear and reappear elsewhere. Buggers to catch.
Oh. Ooh. I want one.
You want one. Every time the DM sets enemies upon us, we just try and collect them and keep them as pets. I want an owlbear, I want an emu, I want to displace a beast, I want a dragon. You know.
Yeah.
I do want to displace.
I have a dragon.
All right, got that close to hunt.
Yeah, Galdak wants one in his belly.
Yep.
But yeah, you look as far as the eye can see in both directions, and Luca, you may give me a perception check, please.
Shitty rolls. That's 25. 21.
Yeah, terrible.
I mean, because I've got a plus 15.
Could have been a lot better.
Do you have advantage? Don't you have advantage? I thought you had advantage for some reason.
I have expertise.
Oh, is
I
that
don't know
what
if I had advantage.
Oh, well, does
I
it say
think.
A next
Do
to
I?
it?
No.
Well, then you don't have advantage on it. Shit, Jesus. Yeah, I thought you had like
God.
the eyes of seeing or something. I don't know.
Eyes of seeing.
Is that what they're called? Eagle
good
eyes
glasses.
or something? Eyes of the
No.
eagle or something like that?
I have a special rapier, a special bow, a totem that lets me teleport, braces of archery, broom of flying, a mystery key, and a potion of possibility.
Oh, I also have a mystery key.
Turns out not the
Same.
eyes of the eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think each of you bought one mystery key. Like, why not? You never know. At some place.
It was
use
from
it
the-
at every opportunity.
Was it the festival?
One day.
Yeah, it was a festival. It was a reward for completing the maze
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Always
nice.
that I
cool.
finished first.
Cool, unusual, weird shit. Yeah, we
yeah,
haven't
so
taken
21.
Winterfest, did we? Okay, cool, 21. Yeah, you get the faint image of sort of movement in the snow, but it's so hard to judge how far or close it is with white on white. You know it's to the north, but you don't know how far away. It's within a couple of miles. It's not like, 700 light years away. Within a couple of miles, but you don't know quite how close. I'm assuming you inform the party.
Sure. I'm not quite sure how bothered I am.
Fair enough. You don't inform the party. Do you inform Vero?
I'm gonna
instead?
say not bothered at all.
Do you inform Vero? Maybe he can
Yeah,
thank
you know what? I'll get if Winona's alright piggybacking on Galthak again.
Done.
No hesitation. I'll hop on my broom and with Vero we'll go scout ahead to see if we can get a bird's eye view of these creatures.
Give me an athletics check, please. As you fly into a strong
Are you
wind.
sure it's not acrobatics?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Luca is feeling athletic.
That is so cool. So the dice I'm using, when I rolled it at 20, that fat dragon from the D&D movie comes out of it.
And gobbles it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
that's kind of cool.
That's in that 2025. Thank you very much.
Cool. So yeah, although you're flying into a strong headwind, you succeed at your DC 10 athletics check with flying colours. And the two of you zip along out. You do indeed find 6 of these creatures. And looking at them, they're quite big. Sort of 9 or 10 foot tall. Huge ostriches, white. And they run about 6 or 8 feet, and then they teleport. About 20 feet, and then they run again 6 or 8 feet, and then they teleport, and then they keep doing it.
I think seeing this, Vero finds it like a very entertaining kind of hunting, and so he swoops down immediately to gobble some of them up.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, some is going to be incredibly difficult. Let's see if he can catch one. Go ahead and give me a survival check for Vero.
What do you mean for Vero?
Well, Vero's making a survival
Like-
check.
Okay, so survival is wisdom,
Yep.
and he has a +2.
Cool,
And
it's just a
does
wisdom
he
check.
have proficiency?
No, don't think so.
Just stay on him.
Unless it says otherwise.
It would say on his sheet.
It doesn't, but I feel like he should.
Oh, high DC. He's a
But that's fine. He has a 9.
higher than that. Yeah, so he swoops down, but constantly they just teleport as soon as he gets close, right? He's a pretty big creature. He's quite easy to see coming. And despite his speed on the wing, these are really annoying and they keep teleporting out the way. After a while, Vero gets annoyed at you and is like, you're scaring them away!
No, he absolutely does not.
Of course
I
he does.
believe he gets annoyed at them and will unleash his Drake's breath.
Okay.
Dex sleeves.
Yeah, a freezing burst of icy cold comes out, and all of the beasts sort of whoop, teleport out of existence and turn back up, except for one whose just legs get caught. And you see it sort of, it's stuttering, almost like blinking in and out of existence briefly, as if it's glitched or is lagging.
Oh no, it's leaving the
It's sort of like,
Matrix.
yeah, it's doing this as if like it's trying to teleport, but its feet are rooted in ice. And Vero
Yep.
comes down and just bites it in one big... and after a
Nice.
while just spits out some feathers It's like, yeah, serves you right for being idiots and trying to get away.
I ask him, what does it taste like?
Tastes like chicken.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Of course.
Very well.
What
He's
doesn't?
he's very pleased with himself.
Uh-huh. As you zoom on, flying back to the group, and telling unlikely tales of white teleporting ostriches, we'll take a short break. Hello, and welcome back to episode 29 of Soulforged, where we're traveling through the mountains. And we're going to have some cool, pretty background music, which doesn't really make any sense because I don't want to listen to that wind anymore. So let's have some wilderness music. Cool. As you are traveling through to, again, you make camp for the night. Karina. Sorry, I will get there. I don't know why names are so hard today. Karina, you are asked by Katrikan. She says, you know that you can sometimes reach out for people. I know you said you tried with Verity and it failed, but could you try again? I just can't help but feel that he's out there somewhere.
I can certainly try.
Thanks. It's up to you how you want to reach out. I don't know if you want to scry, if you want to send, if you want to dream, whatever you're fancying.
Might try a scry first.
Okay. Cool. Give me an Arcana check and ping the spell into VTT for me. I'm going to double check something.
Does not work across
I did not
planes.
mean to click that. You can ignore that. I've rolled something for you. I don't even know what. You are familiar. You know the target well. You do have a possession or garment. Yeah, so I think you just do me a d20 on the scrying, right? Oh,
No,
it's
they,
a save modifier. They don't need to make a save if they're willing, right? They'll make a save regardless, do they?
I think that's
I
only
mean,
if
I
you
don't
use
know
it
if
to
it's
cast
willing or
suggestion.
not. I think it just happens. I think the save just happens, and
They fail.
Oh.
Don't have to do any maths on that one. That is a 1 on a d20. Yeah, so you see a storm. But not snow like you're expecting. It is sand.
Oh my god.
And you see...
Luca was right.
It's like a tundra. It's like sort of a white sand. And you see it sort of swirling around. And you see a man knelt on the floor, scraping at black stone with a chisel. That black stone with silver veins through it that you've seen before. That's what you see. The storm is thick. It is difficult to get any closer. You can't guarantee its severity, but that's what you went looking for, so...
yeah, I mean,
Though
either
why
that's
he's
him or
stopped
he's
to...
become sand.
or he's stopped... Why he's stopped to chisel a piece of black stone, you have no idea. As you're
I'll just watch for 10 minutes and see.
As you're about to cut the connection, the figure turns to you and looks at you, and you see that it is indeed Verity's face, though he looks aged beyond anything you could imagine. His hands are draped in silver, liquid silver, and his eyes pierce through you, and you hear him shout, and it echoes out across the land. Come to me! It is not only Karina that hears this, but every one of you and Katrikan. And each one of you needs to make a charisma save, please.
Is this against a magical plan?
No, but it might, Winona, it's a magical effect, if that's relevant.
Oh, yeah. Well,
because
I'll
I
take the
rolled
first one.
because I rolled a nat 1, I'm going to use my Fox's Luck to reroll.
Yeah, me too.
Love that. I got a 10.
Anybody who got below an 18, which I think is everyone that isn't Kai and Winona,
Yep.
stands up and starts walking.
Oh,
Starts
where are y'all
walking.
going?
Straight on towards the mountains. After a couple of moments, each of you, apart from Karina, sort of stops yourself and is like, what the fuck am I doing? But you hear it constantly in your head like a mantra. Come to me, 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 come to me. Over and over again. It is annoying as hell. You feel like demanded by this shout to follow it. And Winona and Kai, you are hearing this, but it's a bit more like, come to me. Come to me. You know, it's not as annoying and permanent. But every one of you is hearing it. And Katrina's like, it's him! We're going! And then Killian's like, hold on, we still need to rest for the night. It's, you know, we'll get there. We heard it too. Katrina sort of nods. Karina, however, your mind at the moment is on nothing but getting to Verity. You don't stop. You just keep walking. You haven't even picked up your pack. You are like... And it will require probably Galfax's quick reactions to stop you from walking directly into the river. As in, you are walking in a straight line towards Verity with no angle, no nothing. On a positive note, I'll take a survival check from Luca and Galfax. You might be able to get a pretty good compass bearing of the direction in which Verity is, based on where Katrina is walking.
Follow Karina.
With a 26, she is heading absolutely almost dead west, just slightly north, west-northwest. Not where you guys are heading, but west-northwest, straight that way. Galfax sort of holds you back. Karina, you are struggling, and there's like no sort of mental resilience whatsoever there. You don't think it's because you rolled a nat 1. Just tell you that for free. It's because you were present in a vision.
Could I have Vero scout ahead in the direction where Karina's trying to walk?
Yeah, so first of all, I mean, you can all see it. Just across the river is a cliff. She would walk into a cliff. You can't scale that cliff straight up. Obviously, some of you can fly, but not all of you can. Beyond that, in the distance, he's able to see the mountains are incredibly treacherous, near impassable, huge-scale cliffs. You would guess that it is still advisable to go up into the mountains and then head down there. Karina, as you continue to hear, come to me, 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 come to me. You can make a second charisma saving throw.
Oh! 19.
That's a bit better. Finally, you stop flailing Galfax's arms. You feel restless. You feel like you want to be moving right away. You're sort of itchy. But at the same time, you're able to rationally say to yourself, no, we need to rest first. Like, this needs to happen. Yeah, you all make camp for the night. Discuss.
Wow. Karina, what did you see?
Wow.
And are you okay, first of all?
I think I'm okay. I think I saw Verity, but it was different.
Different in what way?
He was chiseling the ground, and then he turned around and looked at me through the scry, and his hands were covered in silver.
Is this like silver, like liquid silver, or like he had chiseled it out the ground and he had like silver flecks all over his hands.
The silver moved
Tw-
on his arms. Liquid.
Oh.
It was like gallium.
Did he seem of sound mind, or was he like deliriously chiseling away?
Did his chiseling seem frantic?
No,
or
it
did
seemed methodical, consistent, persistent.
Ooh.
Almost like a tired man who's just decided to keep going.
And no sign of Cherim or anyone else around him, right?
Nothing.
I wonder if that silver or whatever it is he was working on is somehow like amplifying his natural seeing abilities to allow him to see that Karina was scrying. And to, compel us all the way from wherever he is.
Karina, you can give me an Arcana check. Actually, I'll take one from Winona as well, please. Winona, you can use advantage.
Yay.
This is something that technically you should know more about than Karina.
Oh, really?
It sounded like it fell off the table.
No, it rolled all the way to the end of my desk, but that was a 21.
Cool.
20.
Karina, the silver reminds you of the veins within the black rock that you've seen. In the colour. As you mentioned this, Winona will remember that black rock with silver through it was used to portray a message, if you remember. It had someone's memories imprinted on it.
Where was that again?
You found it on one of the raiders' boats.
Oh. So not the one in Valeris, I'm thinking
If you
of?
remember, we then talked about the black stones with silver running through them that are the witness stones of Valeris. As well as this occurring elsewhere in the folklore of Arvenia, there are these black stones with silver running through them elsewhere. And Katrigan will assure you that there's some in the mountains as well. Where there are stories of people sort of leaning on these stones and disappearing and coming back 100 years later without having aged a day. Or vice versa, returning instantly with having aged 100 years.
Oh my gosh.
Lots of strange tales like that, Lots of them are down to like the lovers that were, that were star-crossed and their parents said they couldn't marry, disappearing through and coming back 100 years later when their parents were no longer around to disagree. Some happy tales like that. And then, tales of, thieves who'd stolen people's souls, stepping through and coming back aged to oblivion. Lots of weird folk stories like that reference these stones, but you remember seeing a black and silver stone with a memory in it. And it did call out with magic to you. That's what the silver reminds you of.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to do something with one of those stones. Oh, Katrigan. I will ask her if, did you find anything about these stones while you were studying these, elderlings?
No connection at all.
Spooky.
Spooky. It's late at night. Are we all ready to take a long rest?
Yeah.
I think Karina would put up a tiny hut tonight, at least around herself, if nobody else wants to huddle in, but
Heck yeah, I'm
she
getting
wants
in
to keep
there.
out some spooky voices.
Well, without that wall, that will aid you. Unfortunately, it doesn't keep out spooky voices.
Keeps out magic.
You don't hear Sharam tonight. But all night you hear, come to me, 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 come to me.
Oh my goodness.
He's gonna drive me mad at this, right?
Yep.
I'm sleeping outside with Pharaoh.
Okay. I mean, Tiny Hut is not a building. But sure. It's not.
What?
I know, Tiny Hut is not a building.
Okay, what's your point?
So everyone's sleeping outside.
But didn't... I'm confused.
There's a single bit. No, they pulled the canvas down the previous night. Tonight, there's a campfire. There's sort of makeshift canvas tents and stuff if people want, but for the most part, people are just on bedrolls under the stars, covered in blankets. But yeah, you sleeping a little separate, like curled up to Vera, maybe, or
Yeah, so like he's like slightly curled round, and then I'm like nuzzled
oh,
in him.
under a wing, or just no, that'd be quite heavy, wouldn't it?
That would... I don't even know how that
It
would
would
work.
stink. Yeah.
What?
How cute.
Oh, it'd be a very reptilian smell under the wings, don't you think? I don't know. That's my personal view.
Any
Dragons are
more
very
so
clean
than-
creatures.
Yeah.
Does he wash under there?
He's very prideful of everything about himself, so I will say yes.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, good.
Yes, I mean they do still gleam under there, but I don't know. I think of them being very big reptiles, and reptiles are smelly creatures. Really smelly.
When was the last time you smell a reptile?
The last time I saw one?
Which was
An iguana in London Zoo.
when?
4 years.
And
They
you
don't
smelled
smell
it?
less because I've not been here for so long. Yeah, the reptile. The
Smelling the
reptile.
lizard or like the lizard environment.
Yeah, maybe the lizard environment. You're right, but still, anyway. Cool. Anyway, you all wake up in the morning, and you notice straight away that there is a jar of honey in the snow about 50 feet from you. But it's sat on the top of the snow. It's really obvious.
Okay.
I
Jar of
will
honey.
detect magic. I think I have that spell, right?
Sure.
I'm
You can
a
detect
good
magic.
wizard.
Yes, there is no magic about the honey. It's honey.
Okay.
No, but is it though? I'd like to don't get too close, but just kind of look around to see if there's like a trap associated with this random jar of honey.
There are no footprints in the snow leading to or from it, apart from yours, which you've just walked. You think you make out that it's resting on something?
Is this one of the stashes?
No, it doesn't appear to be a jar of honey that any of you brought.
What?
No,
It's
it's
a
one,
very
one of the
oldie-worldy
storage
style brown
stashes that was
paper and
left
stuff.
here, you know?
Nope, no, they're buried underground, and Killian will tell you that if anybody left only a jar of honey, he'd be furious.
Yeah, but I bet it was sat on something, so I thought like
Oh,
if the
you're,
thing
yeah,
that it's
you'd have
sat
to
on
get
is under
closer.
the- Okay. In that
Alright.
case, I'd like to cautiously approach and start scraping away some of the snow.
You don't have to scrape, you just lift it up. There is a rolled piece of parchment. It's a strange vellum that you've never seen really before. And it is got beautiful scrolled writing on it. Real old style calligraphy. And as you open it up, it reads Katrikan, Killian, Dolan, Winona, Luca, Kai, Galfak. Did I mention Karina? Karina and Vero. And then in tiny little writing it says brackets and Jeppers.
Okay.
You will find a hut.
polite.
You will find a hut, approximately 20 miles to the north. Please visit me there. Your friend, the Jester.
Oh my god, you motherfucker.
Oh,
I knew it.
Everyone pack
it
up
was
your
the
stuff.
Jester.
Let's go. We've been looking for this clown
We
for
out.
years.
Forget the prince. Who cares?
As soon as you start to walk away from the path directly to Verity, however, you do hear, come to me, 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 come, louder and louder in your head.
Not
it is
now,
annoying as hell.
Verity.
All of you are kind of well ignoring it, and Karina is sort of walking with her head permanently pinned sideways like this. It's like her head's going that way, but her body isn't. It is
Someone
really
cast
annoying.
silence.
If only you could cast silence inside your own head. Wow, that's
Yeah,
a poetic note.
please,
We should
Jesus
end on that.
Christ.
Mute
We're not
him.
going to, though. As you walk the 10 or 15 miles to the north, you see a single hut. It is an impossible hut. It is warm, cottage-like, red brick. Perfect spherical, that's not the word I'm looking for. Cylindrical, round. We use the word round. perfectly round on small stilts leading out the ground. There is glass in the windows. There is smoke billowing from the chimney. The roof is thatched. There is not a spot of snow on the roof. You vaguely hear the sound of a flute from inside. Kind of flute, like a pan, not a pan flute, like a penny whistle sort of flute.
I do not like where this is going.
Why not? Doesn't it look inviting?
We're not going to the Feywilds. We just did that in another campaign.
I'll knock on the door.
Okay, we travel the 5 miles up to it. Sorry, I did say you see it in the distance, and then vroom.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I thought we
as
were
you're
hearing
close,
the music because we were like just outside.
as you're close, you hear it quite loudly, and you hear the sort of bubbling of a kettle, the crackling of a fireplace. Warm, inviting sounds come from within. You're knocking on the door?
Yes, and if this door opens and it's regal, I'm gonna be really upset.
As you open the door, as the door opens, well, there are not 100 people in here. Why is it making?
Yeah, I'm not
sense?
opening
Wow,
I'm not opening the door. That's so rude.
No, as the door opens towards you.
Just letting myself in.
Sorry,
Hello.
I really planned on playing that song, and then when I played it, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Let's do the one bard band.
What if it's the king?
The door opens, and standing before you is a man who I can only describe as golden.
Okay.
He's not shiny golden. He's sort of a muted, sort of golden yellow. In fact, he's tawny, like the turning of the leaves at autumn. It is not just his skin. His eyes are all one shade of the same colour. His hair is the same colour and wispy, and it floats gently behind him in a loose ponytail. Even down to you'll note, even down to his fingernails, still the same points. He wears muted browns, and has small bells at his wrists, elbows, and feet, though they make no noise as he moves towards you. He is all gold. Gold and tawny, in fact.
He's not the god from Morrowind.
Ah, that's who I was
No, he's not
thinking
the
when
best.
he said that.
He greets you in
Okay.
a melodic tone and says, "Welcome, travellers. You've been travelling a while. Come in, take a seat."
Love to. I go in and take a seat.
We've met once before when I was young, but it is my pleasure to make your acquaintance again. And this time, bring relief and joy, not warning. He warned you
I
once.
suppose
about
that
poison.
was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
I guess you were younger.
No, but he does say young.
Yeah.
My kind, we live a long time, but we don't measure age in years. Anyway,
What is your kind?
believe it or not, my kind is known as a white. Though I know I'm not embodying it
Wow.
very well. We
Is that spelled with a G?
no. It is spelled
Not that
like
kind of
the
white,
colour.
huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah. We grow in colour as we make changes in the world.
So what? You start as white and then
I was pale as milk. I used to disguise myself as a jester to cover up my strange colouring.
oh my goodness.
When I was a youth at the king's court, stones were thrown at me. As soon as he says this, you remember an albino child, specifically Karina and Luca, an albino child who grew up at the court. He was a favourite of the king. The king used to feed him at his own table. He was a bit of a novelty, did acrobatics. You'd never connected him with the jester up until this moment. The child was called the Fool.
Oh my god.
So what have you done in the world to now be golden?
Many things. I've travelled far and wide, but it's not my story we're here to talk about, but yours. Please, take a seat. Bingtown coffee.
Oh yes, please. My favourite.
Probably never tried it, actually, if we're being realistic. Karina,
No,
you may give me a
I'm
geography.
lying.
Karina, you may give me a... I was about to ask you for a geography check.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
We'll go with history or survival, your choice.
Okay.
You'll
Well,
probably
it's
take
in that
int
one. So
No.
You were sure you've heard your father talk about Bingtown, but you have no memory of where it is. On some chart far away. But this smell that is foreign to all of your nostrils, of sort of rich aromatic coffee, reaches you, and he turns to you and says, "Did you bring the honey?"
Yes.
Excellent. It's the only thing I had that would weigh it down that was not too valuable to leave, although honey is one of my favourite joys in life. Please feel free to spread it on the cakes. And he gestures, and you'll note that there are these sort of sponge fingers on the table, which you can spread honey on. And as he pours you coffee...
The jester gestures.
I heard that too.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Well
an unintended
played.
pun. He motions towards the table and suggests that each of you take a seat. He says, so we were talking about your story. If I am correct at this particular moment, you should be set upon by sound. Words in the night come whispering. Is that correct?
How do you know these things?
Would you believe me if I told you I dreamt them as a child over 80 years ago?
I would.
You know what?
Considering
Yes.
the state of the world. Yeah.
Well, can we go back 80 years ago?
Roughly, yes. Between 80 and 100 years ago. I dreamt for about 20 years.
Oh my goodness.
And then I set out in the world to make a difference. Took me a long time to travel from my homeland.
Which is located where?
It is far, far to the south, past any villages or towns you would have a name for.
So
Beyond
not on
Jamalia City
Sorcerer's
and-
Isle.
Beyond Jamalia City and 3 times further beyond. Jamalia City you have the very edge of on your map.
Oh my goodness.
It is down there.
This little castle.
Yes, so he tells you it is 3 times further south than that. So another 1,500 miles at least to the south.
Oh boy.
Sorry, what was your name again?
I've had many, but for now you may call me Lord Golden.
Okay.
It's my most recent handle.
Bit on the nose, but okay.
That's a little much.
It is the name that your friend Regal knows me by.
Ah, yes, Reek. Friend is
I-
a strong word.
Are you actually a lord?
No. I've taken many guises in my time. I'm neither jester, nor lord, nor fool, nor tawny man, nor bead maker.
Then what are you?
He's a white.
A single man who's...
No.
I'm a single... He
Not
wouldn't
what
say
I
man,
meant.
sorry. He wouldn't say man. He'd say, I'm a single person set out to change the world. And as you rightly state, Regal is no friend. In fact, he is the beginning of the end. He ushers in the carnage.
You don't say.
He ushers in the future so dark. It starts with the fall of the Farseers, for if Regal is to rule, then there are no more Farseers, and with no more Farseers, then there is no more future. And, this is... The world turns darker and darker until there is nothing left of it. But
I don't want to cast blame or throw stones or anything, but did you not free him from his imprisonment?
that was necessary. The freeing of him from his imprisonment is what precipitated the death of his doppelganger. When I tell you the end would have spiraled in far quicker if that didn't happen.
Goodness.
I think it was also a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh boy, my head is spinning. Please continue.
Regal's turn in the world was already taken by then. But it is up to us to make sure that other Farseers survive. A boy sheltered by a wizard's hand.
And Princess Grace.
A king lost in the desert. And many others. Even that woman that you mentioned, whose name I don't know.
I have a question, Lord Golden. Lord Golden. What is so special about the Farseers, apart from the obvious?
Well, exactly that. Those that see far prevent things that happen long in the future. But you're right, there is nothing specific about the young boy sheltered by a wizard's hand, other than if he survives, the world continues to turn in its wonderful normality. And if he doesn't, and that is that.
The fate of the world lasts on my 10-year-old shoulders.
Not only, but amongst others. Farseer must survive.
What's your role in all of this?
That's what I've told you. To prevent the world from spiraling into doom. That's all.
That's very nondescript.
Through the work of catalysts, I help others to make changes in the world, or to survive. To become the small pebble that turns the cart from one track to another.
Who's Cassius?
Who the fuck
Yeah, I
is
was
Cassius?
gonna ask that too.
I don't know, who's Cassius?
See,
You
that's
said
who
Cassius.
He acts through catalysts.
Well,
We all heard. I heard Cassius too.
Cassius Clay? I don't know.
Cassius, your god.
This is a wonderful
He's
moment.
like
Right?
under the orders of somebody.
This is a wonderful moment when you were like, who's Cassius? And I was like, I don't know, who's Cassius?
Oh no!
I thought he was being cryptic.
I know.
Well, he is being cryptic, but he's working through catalysts.
Really need to
Pebbles
fix
that he
that
places
list,
in
girls.
pebbles that he places in the road to set the cart upon another track. It's not always a pleasant experience for the pebble, but alas, it must happen. And in this instance, I believe that the catalysts are you, all of you.
It's very
A king's fate, a king's fate sealed, with a journey made.
Which king is?
The only king left. Verity.
Oh, okay. That's what you meant. We're going through them so fast.
But as I said, I come to offer relief
it's
more than
a bit
anything.
extreme.
Beset upon by sounds. That is what I saw. Alas, I think I have something that might aid you in that. With that, he places a tiny single black gemstone upon the table. It looks like a piece of onyx. Each of you take it and pass it to each other. The voices will dim. You'll hear them when you wish to, but only when you wish to. He hands it first to Karina. Sorry, go on. You feel like this?
I feel like this is slowly becoming the plot of Oblivion.
I don't know if I can remember the plot of Oblivion.
Oh my goodness!
I know that you have to give the amulet to Joffrey. I'm going to lose that amulet as soon as you give it to me. But apart from that,
So you played the first 5
I've done the
minutes.
intro.
That is the very first quest.
Close
Take
them,
the amulet.
close them Oblivion Gates, murder the Prince of the Daedra, and done. Like, easy.
Basically,
And watches Martin becomes a dragon. Done. And a statue.
Summary.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
So you played the first 5 minutes and skipped to the end.
Oh, everybody
Most
skipped to the end in
important
their brain. That was the only bit interesting. Anyway, black gemstone, Karina, catch. That come to me. Disappears. When you think about it, you can hear it, but when you stop thinking about it, it goes away.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a relief, and I will hand it on.
That's the respite. I can do nothing for the other voices that you hear in your dreams. Those are real, and they are calling out. I hope you find him.
Do you know where he might be?
Northwest. No, I have only seen the junction on the road. I know not where it lies. But I do know that a key asset to you in this journey will be a wolfhound. Just to tell you, wolfhound and a wolf are not the same thing. A wolfhound is a type of dog. It should find you within the next couple of days. Welcome it, for it will lead you.
Maybe
on.
Adopted a dog!
Maybe that's what I saw in my dream.
A dog?
That was watching me.
Oh.
You saw Sharim's eyes.
Oh. Lame.
Steps.
Oh, lame.
Cool. Yes. So he tells you that a wolfhound that you will know will find you upon the road in a couple of days. Verity had a wolfhound, a pet wolfhound that went with him. You are hoping that that's the one.
Wow. Verity had a whole dog this whole time and never let us pet it.
Could
He's
I
the fake.
Could I multi-class into a second type of ranger?
No.
To get the dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lord Golden. You say that you're
Hush.
like the.
Our time is nearly at an end. Speak quickly.
Okay.
What do you mean?
You say that you're like the water that chips away a mountain. What have you?
Oh,
Good
that was
phrasing,
so
but I don't
poetic.
remember using it. Carry on.
Yeah, I rephrased it, but that's basically what you said.
No.
You're the pebble who turns the cart. Right, you're the little thing that
Change
makes
the
a big
direction of a
difference.
cart and eroding a mountain. Well, yeah, why not? Carry on.
Yeah,
As I
you're
said,
a
our
little
time
thing
approaches
that
an end,
makes
so
it
speak
right.
quickly. I'll stop.
Well, then
arguing
stop questioning
semantics.
me.
Continue.
Anyway,
Shut up, DM.
what? Yeah, literally. What have you done already within the world that has caused change?
Mm.
I basically want to see some validity to what he's saying.
We know he rescued Regal.
Capit
He
survived
warned us
the
about
raid.
the poison.
Rescue?
Yeah, Capit survived
What?
a raid. One boy survives a raid, and you don't find it surprising or unusual.
So that was you.
Riddle saw a vision in the night. Not Riddle. Discretion saw a vision in the night of a raid, allowing you to get there in time. Verity's visions were guided. I cannot change what he sees, but I can change his understanding of them. The maps that Katrikan came upon, found in Sansage, were placed there quite carefully. Many other small things along the road, things that seem irrelevant. A puppy handed to a young woman who later becomes a duchess. Many turns.
I have one more question.
Yeah, he's like the man who's moving mountains. Yes. Speak
I have
quickly,
one more question.
or forever hold your peace.
What's in it for you?
For me, blessed normality, survival. The world going on in all of its ugly and beautiful facets. Boys marrying girls, babies being born, loved ones dying. The sunrise over the sea. A flower blossoming in the grass. All of those wonderful, normal, boring things continuing onwards forevermore. That is all I want.
Men and women, boo. Can I do an
Period.
insight check? Yeah, can I do an insight check to see if he's lying?
Winona walks away.
Winona's like, what, no gays in your future?
It's just a phrase.
13.
13. You get the impression that no matter how hard you try and read this person, their thoughts are hidden behind the single glazed golden eyes. He's so foreign to you that it is hard to understand much of what he says. But he tells you, hush, once more. I'm so sorry. You can take the cakes with you. But we're about to lose touch. Travel
What does that
safely.
mean?
That.
Can you give us a little...
He points towards the wall, and you see it beginning to float away.
Oh no! Can you give us a list real quick of what we should do?
We were never really here.
Oh god.
Respite, comfort, and reassurance is what I offered, and that's all I can offer. You're going the right ways, doing the right things. Carry on as you will.
Speed. But
So we were heading the right way, and
what
he
color will he
stopped us
be?
To go the
He
wrong
told
way.
us
To stop
to
the
go the
voices
wrong way
in
to
your mind.
tell us that we're going the right way.
Sort of. He also quieted the voices in your mind, gave you some really, really good honey cakes, and told you to watch out for a wolf hound on the road. And with all that useful information, that is where we will end.
Oh my lord.
And we will come to the timeless tradition of MVPs,
Lord
and I shall
Golden.
start where I finished, and I believe that was with Michaela?
Yup.
Yep.
You already know. Meeting the clown that we've been looking for all this time.
I
Oh
love that you
my
call him a clown.
goodness. I was just so excited to get that note from him. And then he's some kind of otherworldly, amazing being. I'm feeling some type of way. But yeah, excited to have finally met the Jester, the mythical Jester.
Cool. Who's next? Jamal?
I'm gonna go with come to me, and then just almost everyone's just immediately like, okay, just up and beelining it, just gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like bye.
Yeah. Laura.
It's definitely finally getting some more information about the Jester and things that he's been affecting.
Mm-hmm.
throughout the campaign.
There are a couple of images. They're very vague, but they are art depictions of what he's meant to look like at this particular moment in time.
Whoa.
Oh, this is a really good one, actually. Let me get this one. This is one of the official artwork pieces.
Oh,
So
good.
genuinely, like, made of gold. Cool. Josh.
Yeah, no matter what art you show me, I think I'm gonna think of him as Lord Vivek. I hope you know that. Yeah, finding stuff out about the gestures, definitely very interesting. And seeing his kind of influence. He gives me very much like Tom Bombadil vibes. Very that.
There's two images of him as a youngster there. Yeah, one where he's been punched in the face.
All the aww.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't go for that scene, but yeah, he gets punched in the face while he's got his head in a bag. Bit rude. Put a brown paper bag on his head and punch him.
Oh no, how rude.
I liked all of our dreams. That was nice.
Oh yeah.
Although there was a moment when Katrika was like, "Oh, we should really like shorten this table because not enough people to sit around it." I really thought Galthak was just gonna stand up and chop
it down with an axe. I was sort of hoping for
Yeah.
that, or some sort of weird magical gesture or something. I was just waiting for Sebastian to pipe up. I'll use fabricate. Jay.
Yeah, the dreams were neat. I liked how like almost everyone had like these whisper ones, seeing something. Meanwhile, I get to hear someone drowning over and over.
Don't forget that, because it is relevant.
Yeah, what was that about?
That is the only dream that hasn't been answered yet. So don't forget that. That is relevant.
We do have water
I
breathing
wish
though.
I'm not gonna be able to forget it.
Yeah, whoever that is, they didn't have water breathing.
Right.
And then Jester.
Cool. Yeah,
We gotta
good.
see him again.
So I have been waiting to play the Fool, the Golden Fool, the Jester, the Tawny Man, Lord Golden, Lady Amber. So many names they have. You don't get to meet Lady Amber because she's in the books that you're not in.
No.
I'll tell you about them briefly at some point. I was really looking forward to that moment. There are so many wonderful phrases that he uses, or they use, in the books, such as the pebble with the cart, such as catalysts and that sort of thing, and just trying to use all that imagery and stuff to connect is really enjoyable. Brief shout out to Josh for being the one who got the NPC. Mistakes were made by the DM, and he's like, Red Dragonborn. We don't know Red Dragonborn. Oh, sorry, Laura, go on.
No, I realized something, and it was Cassius.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So
Lord Cassius.
Cassius, the catalyst. But yeah, I love the way that as soon as the Fool was mentioned, you guys were like, we're going that way. So that was really enjoyable. But yeah, also just playing along. Obviously, it's very difficult sometimes to translate. I mean, I think I mentioned this most weeks, but it's very difficult to translate a book to D&D because you guys are so all-powerful. But actually, it was really nice this week just to sort of focus on story development as opposed to grand character abilities. But speaking of which grand character abilities, no, you're not leveling up.
No.
Josh did ask about the items that you all have. And whilst I was originally going to give you them at level 14, over the next week I think we might have a bit of a chat about the direction they're going in. Because it's probably about time those improved. I believe the next phase is Awakened. So it's Dormant, Slumbering, Awakened, and Exalted, is that correct?
Mine's
I think it's already
awakened.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, but it definitely is just two things that it can do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does yours just go Dormant, Awakened, Exalted?
Yeah.
I think so.
But it's blue, right? It's not purple.
Yeah, it's
It
blue.
is
There should be a
blue.
purple and a gold version.
Well,
Maybe there is 3. Maybe there is an extra one.
mine says awakened, but it's green.
Whoa.
That's because I didn't.
It's all wrong.
That's because on everybody else's, I made a fresh version, and on yours, it was so easy, I just edited the original. I forgot to change the rarity. I'll do that. But yes. Yeah, cool. So we will discuss over the coming week what we're going to do with those. But in the meantime, if you guys would like to say goodbye,
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'll see you in about 15 minutes.